back and ready to do a review now. It's been a few months since I actually did a review, so I want to do one again, and today we're going to do one on one of my favorite guitars that I have. This is the Cat Strat. I got this October of 2021, so I've had it for a year and a half now, and I've really enjoyed it. I bought it with the intention of making modifications to it. I didn't buy it to be a ready to play out of the box guitar, although you can. But it's a Squier, and it's a fun guitar to modify. It's also a good guitar to learn how to do modifications and maintenance if you don't want to practice on a $1,000 guitar. You can pick one of these up. So good place to start. Cost. I got this on sale in 2021 for $150 at Guitar Center, right down the street. I was in the mode at that time of getting guitars and modifying them. I've mentioned before how much I enjoy Squiers. They're so fun. You can do so much with them and not worry about them. They're good for learning how to play guitar. They're good for learning how to modify your guitar, and they're good for learning how to maintain your guitar. If I was playing out, I would absolutely use one of these as a backup, with no doubt, and possibly even as a main guitar. Modifications are a whole other story. I've been watching some interesting videos from a gentleman who kind of debunks some of the tone myths, the tone wood, pickups, strings. Scale length is another one that you hear about. Oh, it's different. And what he basically has determined through a lot of experimentation, and I recommend people watch this. It's fascinating to watch it and see all the work he did on this, is that a lot of the things that we think makes a lot of tone difference don't really make that much of a tone difference. Tone generally is going to come out of the amp. Let's get back to the guitar at hand. This is my Squier Stratocaster Bullet. It's a beautiful guitar. I love the look. When I got it originally, it had a white pick guard and white pickup covers, and it looked like a surf guitar, the 50s, 60s. Had a cool vibe, real cool vibe to it. Even with the original gear on it, it was a fun guitar to play. Of course, the neck is good. That's what I tried when I actually went to the Guitar Center when I sat down and tried it out. It felt fine. I'm pretty sure I have filed down the frets. Again, the sides from a little fret sprout. Made in Indonesia, and anything I get from Indonesia, I know that I'm going to have to do something on the side here, because the relative humidity where I live in Colorado is usually 20% or lower at times. I mean, if you live in a place where the humidity is higher than that, normally 40% or whatever, you're probably not going to have some of the neck issues that I have with these Indonesian guitars. I don't know what they're doing different there than the ones I get from Mexico or even Korea, but the Indonesian guitars I get and the Chinese guitars I get, I just usually have some fret sprout on it. I can take care of that. Again, it's a good way to learn how to do modifications and maintenance on your guitars, to get a cheap guitar and start with that before you move up to the $500,000 plus guitars that you might want to maintain yourself someday anyway. But this is a great one to start on. So obviously, let's go through some of the original specs on this thing. It's a poplar body. If you are somebody who swears by tone woods, you're probably going to think poplar, well, that's just cheap and light. It is cheap and light. That's why it was a $150 guitar originally. I can't tell you the difference in tone woods, particularly in rock music like I play. It's once you plug it into an amp and you crank that gain up, I honestly don't think the tone wood makes enough of a difference to be picky about. I think that what we see and what we feel means more than what the wood is actually doing. So that's a huge argument that is always going on the web. I lean towards the tone wood, not so important to me side of it. That's my personal opinion. It's also my opinion after watching a number of videos on YouTube that show that there's really not that much difference in tone. I found more comes from the pickups. A lot obviously comes from the amp. You can plug one guitar into 3 different amps and get 3 completely different sounds. You can plug 3 guitars into one amp and they'll generally sound pretty similar. So poplar works just fine for me. It's lighter. I've got alder, an alder body right over here, and it's a little more heft, and there's something to that. If I feel it's a little more hefty, then psychologically, I may feel that I'm getting a different sound out of it. Although when you plug them in and play them and you record them, they all have a tendency to sound pretty similar if you're playing through the same amp. So this is all over the web. You can find it anywhere. I'm not going to argue about it. If you want to put down in there that tone wood makes a big difference, you are really wasting your time, because I'm not going to argue with anybody about it. I'm telling you how I feel about it. If you feel different, I really recommend you get a camera and then you do your own video and put it up on YouTube. Gloss finish, it's not a very thick gloss finish. It's not like beams are going to shoot off of it when you put light on it, but it's nice still. It's nice enough. I like the look of it. Bolt-on neck, pretty standard. Again, that's one of those places where people want to argue about tone and stuff. Bolt-on, you know, neck through, you know, all that. I just don't notice that much difference. I like some of my neck throughs because there's less of a bump here. So for playing comfort, this can get in the way, but tone-wise, I really don't notice much of a difference. 25.5-inch scale, I like that. Feels a little tighter than the 24 3/4-inch scale. That there is a difference there in feel for sure. So I'm a fan of the 25.5-inch Fender type scale. Neck radius is 9.5 inches, which I usually play a little flatter. I like a flatter radius fretboard, but this feels just fine. Again, these are differences that I don't think make that much of a difference. I think these are a lot of little minor things that may add up to a little more of a tonal difference, but it's more for me about feel and what I can get out of the amp. Feel is the most important thing. I've gone into music stores, pulled a guitar off the wall, and never plugged it in and bought it. You know, electric guitars, simply because I know if the neck is good and it feels good to me, I can get anything out of it I want to get out of it. I can change the pickups if I really want to. And I do think that's one of the places you can get a little bit of a tone difference, but honestly for me it's not enough to justify buying different pickups unless you really want to. I really want to, I do it. You can buy a guitar like this, get the pickups that come with it, and play it just fine. 21 frets, which is interesting. It's not a 22 fret neck. It's obviously not a 24 fret neck. 21's fine. Again, for playing around and having a good time, just throwing a guitar around, 21 frets is going to work fine. It's interesting. It's a 42 millimeter nut, plastic, because Indonesia. It's another one of those places, if you want to put a new nut on it and you think it changes your tone for the better, do it, man. Again, that's a good place to practice your maintenance. Just throw a bone nut on it or something and see if it really makes that much of a difference to you. Standard 5-way switch, so you get all the cool sounds in between with the two pickups. And here's one of the cool things that I like about this guitar. Fixed bridge. No 6-point, no 2-point, just a solid, right on top of the guitar bridge. It's top loaded. It does not go through the body. I like hardtails. I've grown more fond of them as I've gotten older. I don't know if I just don't like wanking as much, but I still do, man. I still play this guy over, this guy. I play this guy over here and do the Brad Gillis trill type thing. Oh, it's fun stuff. There's a real solid feel to this thing. And again, feeling means a lot. And I just like a hardtail Strat. You don't see them a lot. Normally you've got the Strat with the synchronized tremolo. And without one, I don't know, maybe a little less to worry about with tuning. These are pretty cheap tuning machines. They're adequate. It's one of those things, again, if you really want to upgrade, you can do that. I haven't done it and I haven't had any issues with this. I've recorded with this. So the pickups I got from Stratosphere Guitar Parts. These are Hot Texas Blues pickups made by Fender. Pretty sure they go into a Squier set because the whole set of 3 didn't even cost me $100. To me, they were an upgrade to the original ones that came from Indonesia. But the coolest thing about them, and again, looks matter, they're silver. They got that chrome look, man. It's just a different look, you know, white or black. No, let's go chrome. And it's plastic, but it looks cool. I love it. I just love the look of this thing. Which brings us to the biggest, obviously, look about this guitar, which is the pick guard. Again, Stratosphere Parts. I got this from them, and I think it was $10. And it's little kitty paws. It's awesome. I saw that, I was like, I gotta have that. That's the coolest thing ever. So yeah, I got it, got the pickups, and I think all I changed in this was the pick guard, the pickups, and I changed the knobs, but I didn't actually change the pots underneath them. I think I still got the originals in here. I went with the chrome knobs too. I actually had these sitting around. I didn't have to order them. I've bought so many knobs over the years. that I had some spares laying around. I just threw them on, and I just love the look of this thing. I mean, it's fun. And I don't know that there's anybody out there that has a guitar that looks like this right now. It's my thing, you know, and that's, personalization is really cool. And I say it just about every video, and I'll say it again. Looks matter when you're playing a guitar. Your brain sees it, and you process that as part of how you feel when you play and what you hear. And for me, this is just fun. It's really fun. Again, a great example of just fun in modifying guitar. All right, so let's get to some ratings here. I think we've covered all the specs. So we're going to start at our regular 5 out of 10. Hardtail, +1, just because I think that's cool and unusual for a Strat. So that's 6, easy. Finish, the seafoam green finish, +1. Great job. I actually don't see any issues with it. Hardware, I mean, like I said, I love the hardtail idea. The bridge itself isn't bad. I would have given it a +1 if it was through the body. Again, I don't know that that actually makes a difference in tone, but there's just something about going through. Personal preference again, I'd give it a +1, but we're just going to keep it at 7 right now. These tuning machines, we're going to leave that even. We're going to call that a 7 again. So from the factory, we're at about a 7 out of 10. The setup when I got it was decent enough to play. If I was a first-time guitar player and I sat down with this, I could learn on it. Cost, +1. So I'm seeing an 8 out of 10 here. Easy 8 out of 10. I did get to go into the store and actually play it. That's the thing I recommend the most. If you have to order online, read all the reviews, find out everything you can about this, because obviously the cheaper guitars can be hit or miss, and I'd hate to see somebody get one with a bad neck. Flip side of that is I've noticed that the companies I order with online are real good about returns. So it's a little riskier to order it online, obviously, because you don't get to play it before it comes to your door, but they're pretty good about doing returns. Musician's Friend and Sweetwater in particular will, you know, if you got a problem, they're going to take care of you. They need your business. So 8 out of 10, I'm good with that. And as I said, it's a great platform for modifying. I might do some type of HSH or HSS just to have some fun with it. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with this guitar. As I've said, I like what Squier does. I like that they make inexpensive guitars that are just affordable and playable. The big test. Would I take this out and play a gig with it tonight? Yes. So hands down, I would absolutely recommend this guitar. Get into a store, try it out. Technically, the name on this thing, are you ready for this? I'm gonna have to read it because it's too long for me to memorize because I have no brain left. Squier Bullet Stratocaster Hardtail Limited Edition Electric Guitar Seafoam Green. Did you get all that? Yeah, that's a lot. That's a mouthful. I love the fact though that it's limited edition, the, you know, $169.99 limited edition guitar that's been on the market for at least 2 years now. Yeah, I like this a lot, man. Squier, keep making them like this. I recommend this thing, man. It is good. I have fun with it. I don't know who this guitar isn't for, honestly. Anybody could get this thing and play it and have a good time and have some fun with it. So yeah, have a good time. That's the most important thing. Keep making music out there. How can you not like this? This is just a beautiful beast. Fun to play. So, all right, y'all stay cool. Try that again. I'm gonna try this one more time. Okay, let's try that again. Let's try that in English. Yeah, that. Maintenance. Put the microphone. Digressing too much on this. Ta-da. Whatever. Nobody's gonna change my mind, and I'm not gonna change your mind. So do your thing. Enjoy what you're doing. Good for me. With the English. Tough for me. Stay hydrated. Ooh, that's really good for it. Stupid. No damage, right? Oh, hang on. How do I get out of here?